Okay, so Natasha and I, before we get to work, we have to get to work. And what that means is creating a perfectly protected and sovereign space. One of the most important things is before you connect with someone's energetic field is understanding that you have a great responsibility. You wouldn't want a surgeon going in with, like whatever he ate, like dripping off his fingers and then like getting his hands in there. So it's super important that even though our guides are the ones that are doing the work, we are creating or forming an avenue, a connection, a tie. And so we want to be absolutely pristine with our energy prior to connecting with the client. And so what that means is, as an SRA practitioner, that we want to make sure that we are also teaching our students how to do the same. Now, what this might look like can very well be different depending on the person. What I do and what Natasha does is similar, but yet different at the same time. And other people may have similar but different ways that they choose to work. So, for example, one of the major things that I do is I get my butt outside with my feet on the ground, and I really sink in and connect to Mother Earth, pulling the energy down. Actually, I focus on my heart center first, if I'm being quite frank, and I imagine it as a big, beautiful golden ball of light. I mean, that is, in essence, who I am. So I'm connecting with all that I am and feeling and remembering my love for Mother Earth and all that entails. And I'm just absolutely, I adore her. So I send that energy down, and then I feel it come up. And what my goal is to create a beautiful pillar of light, connecting from deep into Mother Earth all the way up into the heavens to Source, to my higher self, to my team. And I also have a really huge connection to Helios. We'll just call, the sun or one of the suns. So I'm doing the same thing where I am sending my love light up with my gratitude, and I imagine myself entering that realm and connecting with all of the wonderful beings above. And then I draw that energy down into Mother Earth. So in that coming up and coming down, now I'm in this like absolutely beautiful laser beam of light. And that's just the first step. Okay, when you first get, especially when you're younger, your certification, you're like, we want to get rid of all these negative energies, and we can do anything. You realize rather quickly you will be humbled, and you will learn to have a respect for the work and its sacredness. And so it's not a rush, and I've learned that you end up connecting if you try to do things on the fly, perhaps outside of your sacred space, which is a whole nother thing. Being in this space is super important to me. It's an energetic that has been built up, and its protection is very massive and strong. If you're trying to do things on the fly, you very well might be connecting with imposter entities, and that could be a whole nother conversation. So okay, after that point, being in that pillar of light, and then I go through cleansing all of my chakras. I go through bringing in as much light, like upping my light quotient in my vessel. Then I imagine Archangel Michael's flaming golden white light sword burning away. Also, I call on Saint Germain's violet flame, and you think, is this overkill? Very maybe, but in order, really, most energetic work has to do with your belief, and for me, this does it. I feel it, I notice it, and by the time I'm through with all of it, I'm feeling high vibe. I'm beaming, and because I'm connecting with higher vibrational beings that are ones that are going to assist with the work, it's imperative that I be able to elevate in order to connect, as they're having to come down to into my human vessel to work. So after all is said and done, it's not done yet. I do the lesser banishing ritual, and that's a really neat, and at first it was a little bit complicated technique, which after practice, it's really not big at all. And I do it here in my sacred space. And so there's that. And then what do? I sit down and I create my bonfire. But everybody who knows me well knows that I light sage until it's just like a smoke-filled room. But there's some type of reassurance. I just absolutely love the smell, and it really puts me in my zone. You know what? I'm going to go ahead, Natasha, and let you share a little bit, because I know I could keep going.
Okay.
Why don't you go?
Yeah, for sure. And yes, anytime that we're going to be working, in any capacity, whether it's remote spirit release or any other modalities, setting the sacred space is always very important, and setting your own intentions and getting yourself clear and grounded is essential, whether that's going outside like Tara does. Sometimes I go outside, sometimes I don't get to go outside, but I have different meditations where we bring in the light, we connect. If you're a Misha carrier, I have my Misha. I can rub it, around my energy field and clear that way. I love my tools. I have little rattles and different things, clear all that gunky stuff out. And it's just whatever connects with you. And especially if you've been doing healing for a while, or even if you're new, you may be drawn to different rituals, and the ritual really does not matter. It's how it connects with you and how you relate with it. But the important part is that we're getting clear. We're getting we want to be sovereign before we begin the session. We do check sovereignty of the facilitator and medium before going into a session, but it is each person's responsibility to make sure that you are, because we're workers. We're not messing around here. We are totally serious about what we're doing. Tara likes to use the smoke, and I used to do that too. I love Palo Santo, sage, all of that, but now I have birds, and for you guys that have birds, and even cats sometimes can be really sensitive. Even if you use, I love essential oils, but I only use these on my person. I don't put them in the air because of the birds, but as long as I'm not touching them and it's a few hours, I like to do different points like the back of my neck, and because that's an attachment point a lot of times for entities, especially for those who are bringing in a lot of information. I think information kind of comes in back here, and so I'm usually putting different ones. Frankincense is a good one. I really love citrus bliss, which is different, like lemon and orange and different things like that. So basically, it doesn't really matter as long as you're setting the sacred space. You are feeling it in your body. You're connecting, and you're making sure that you feel completely and totally safe in the space. Then you can begin your work. Does that cover
Absolutely.
it?
And you mentioned about the oils. One of my favorite is this one called Protect, or just simply Clary Sage.
Yeah.
And absolutely correct. So on the back of my neck, I like to, happens to be a roll-on, rolling a circle with a cross, and imagining that be white light, and so that's protected. You could do the same. Sometimes I'll put it on my heart, my throat, my third eye, the crown as well. Also, I know both of us really like to, it just helps us put ourselves into a kind of a deep state, is using anything botanical.
Yes, mugwort.
I just absolutely love, yes, we both have our our mugwort. My guides told me a long time ago to get nasturtium, which I had never, I heard of the flower, but I never even heard of it as a thing to use, but I've been using it ever since because I trust them completely. Another thing that you did mention, alternatively, vibration. We know everything is vibration, so both of us have our tuning forks. That is wonderful to clear the energy. I don't know if you can hear it. Yeah, okay. And we have our, I'm sure you have one too there.
I do. I don't have it in front of me.
Anything to help.
Yes, I love those.
Yes, and they really help. Actually, you don't have to be. Oh, I love those. Yes. Well, like I said, they're great for the classroom or any public space that you need to clear out. They're wonderful. And the people that don't like them the most are usually the ones with the attachments. That's what I've noticed.
That makes sense.
They're like, no, we don't like that. Yeah. Also, in our we can't forget our beautiful crystal friends. And so we have the ones that we, like to use the most. My other baby is downstairs.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a good
All of
cutter
these little
too
things.
for energy field.
Sometimes when I forget them or leave them somewhere and they're not in the room, but I feel ready, I just imagine them with me. Or I put a crystal. Remember, we're in a freaking hologram, right? And so we just have to remember that we're the masters of our reality. So I could be, or sometimes I'll just put myself in a big block of like sea salt. Which we do tend to put around, the doorways and the perimeters especially. But when we're working in our space, it really has been worked in so many times and the protections put up so many times. And it's like, really, I feel like it's a vault at this point. So, but anyway, a lot of this is for our sense of safety, and it's very important that again, our belief is strong, and our knowing of our might and our power. I think that's the basis of sovereignty, honestly. It's just knowing and remembering how powerful and strong you are. Yes, I even like to pull a card for the session and just asking Spirit to give me some insight. And depending on what it is, I'll be like, and I might take another further step or two, or at least take whatever advice, adhere to whatever it is they're trying to tell me or show me, whether it be regarding us or the client, etc., prior to going in.
Yeah. And all of this can actually be done with intention and imagination. You don't need anything physical at all, as long as you are very intentional and firm. So, but it's very important. You can't skip that step when you're doing spiritual work, because it's just like brushing off. You shower every day. You need to brush off all of the energy of the day, especially before you're going in to work on someone else's energy or to connect with your partner for a remote spirit release. You don't want to bring anything non-beneficial with you.
That's right. I do prefer to take a salt bath or salt shower prior to. So it's a big deal before I get to work. It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Serious business. It's more than just us meeting, and that's another thing that's very interesting. So some people are not quite understanding how it works. So Tara, she is in New Jersey and I am in Arkansas, and we work together regularly, and we get on just like right here. We make an appointment. I have a client, she has a client, we get together, and like we're fixing to do right now, we're fixing to get ready and do a session. And easy peasy. With the technology of today, you don't have to be in the same room as the person. Energy is infinite, and it has no limits.
Yeah, and for
client, me, as well, doesn't have to be in the space of us.
Right, but in terms of like, so we don't just, we have a session, boom, 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 so we've already told you all the things we do to prepare, but, then you really have to account for, like, in a normal day, if you would have a whole bunch of caffeine or, start doing things, like, you just can't. You have to be in the mental space of, and not let, the monkey mind and the 3D world even sort of enter the zones. So you really need to be able to just put it all aside, and oftentimes that you have to plan the rest of your day around it, I think.
Exactly. So it's not just we're just going to get together and do this. Like you said, you might if you were going to have wine that evening, you might be like, well, no wine for me tonight, we're working kind of thing. So it's a commitment. It's not just this thing that you do. It's part of your life. It is part of you.
Yes, and what you eat. That right. Like, I could never have something junky, ever.
Yeah, and you're taking responsibility.
Not that I eat junky, but,
for yourself. You're taking responsibility for yourself more. But it's also affecting your partner. So you're my partner because we work together, and the team, we work together. So you want to bring your best self forward for everyone else as well. So you now have this responsibility of this community, within you. So that's one of the things that we look for when we're looking for practitioners. Is this just something that they want to put on their resume or another certificate they want to put in their drawer, or is this something that they're willing to commit to with their life choices and the way that they conduct themselves, because that is also very important.
Yes, they have to understand that the work is it's a sacred practice, and you need to be extremely responsible about it, and humble, and willing to do better and to listen to feedback. And I think that's a whole nother conversation, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's save that for the next video.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.